Hello there, and welcome to our new crash course in which we'll be exploring the entirety of Appwrite with Next.js. Along that, we will be building and deploying multiple mini web apps. Let's dive into building a fully fledged email and password authentication web app with Appwrite. To make things easier, I have already developed the UI of this project and pushed it to a GitHub repo. And the link to this repo is provided in the description below. All you need to do is click on this green button over here and copy this link. Open your VS Code and say git clone and paste the URL and click on enter. What it is doing is just cloning the GitHub repo that I have created. And now, as you can see, cloning process has been finished. So let's cd into this folder. Let me copy the folder name and paste it over here. Now let's say npm install to install all the dependencies inside it. Later, let's say npm run dev and click on enter. Now it is providing me a link which I'll just copy and create a new tab and paste it. And now the website is loaded. Let's hop on to appwrite.io, and I hope that all of you already have an Appwrite account. If not, you could just create one. I already have an Appwrite account, so let me just sign in. Let me create a new project, say and name it YT Auth Demo, and let me click on create. Now let us link our platform to Appwrite SDK. If we forget this vital task over here, we will be getting course error while we are handling the SDK. Let's give a name, say YT demo, and at the host name, let's add localhost. After you are deploying the project, you could just add Vercel, Netlify, or anything like that, or your domain name over here. If you are developing anything like an Chrome extension or a VS Code extension, you could use an asterisk, which indicates universal host name. For now on, let's stick on localhost and let me click on next. Now, this is giving some code snippets and guiding new users. So let's skip these optional steps. And yeah, we have created and set up the Appwrite environment over here. Let me just go to Auth, and you could just explore all the features that Appwrite provides us out of the box. Now, let's just have a look at the source code that I have provided you. If we take a closer look, I have just 3 pages: the dashboard, the index, which is just the login form, and the sign up page or the registration form. If we just see, I have just used React icons for the social media images over there, and the link tag over here to just redirect the user to the login page. If you are not familiar with the link tag, it is basically like anchor tag that we use in HTML. So let's create the form submission functionality. For that, let's just import useStateHook, and let's initialize 3 states: const name set name is equal to useState. And let's just have some spaces over here and here. I'll just copy the same code and paste it 3 times for email and password. I'll just say set email and set password. Now let's scroll down and just add a value, and for the value let's just have name and Let's just copy the same attribute, paste it to the three inputs, and just change the value. And let's also add an onChange listener over here. And let's say handle change. I'll just copy the same line and paste it over here and here. Let's just create a function handle change over here. Function handle change. And let's just take the event over here, and let's say const input type is equal to, or let's say event type is equal to e dot target, and I'll just console log the event type for now. If we just inspect this, let's firstly go to the sign up page, go to the console over here, clear the console, and if we just type something, we are just getting a console log of that input element. And now over there, we could just go and add some IDs over here. Let's add an ID and let's say name, copy the same ID, and let's have email and password over here finally. I'm adding these IDs so that we could, identify it in this function. We could say e dot const event type is equal to e dot target dot id. And now if I console log, reload this page over here, and let's inspect. Let me go to console, and if I type anything over here, I'll just get things like this: name. If I type over here, I'll get email and password. But I don't like this autocomplete thing that the Google is providing me. So let's just say autocomplete, wait, autocomplete, and let's say false. Also, let's add a required attribute so that user needs to fill it to submit the form. Required. Let me copy it and paste it. Now let's create an on form submission function on submit, and let's say handle submission. Let me just copy this and create a function for that also. Function handle submission. And firstly, let's prevent the default reload. E dot prevent default. And for now, let's just console log everything. Okay. Before that, I haven't set the things over here. Let's just say if event type is equal to name, we could just say set name and set name to event e dot target dot value. And let me just copy this piece of code. Let me add an else, and over here let's go for email, set email, and again finally else if instead of email, let's check for password, and let's just say set password. And over here I'll just console log everything. Email, firstly name, email, and password. Now if I reload the page again, and let me clear the console, and let's just type, I'm getting an error. Let's check. Okay, we'll handle this later. And let's just type my name, the email, and the password. Let's say 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, and let me click on sign up. I'm getting a console log like this over here. So done. Now let's just create a new folder called Appwrite and later a file called Appwrite config.js. Let me just import client and account from Appwrite. Let's initialize the client. Const client is equal to new client, and we can say client dot set endpoint, and let's go to Appwrite's dashboard, go to settings, and let me just copy the API endpoint. Let's paste it over here, and later we could say dot set project, and let's go to the dashboard again, copy the project ID and paste it over here. Now let us just create an account over here, and as a parameter let's just pass the client. Now let's format the document, and I think we could just export the account over here. Let's go to signup.js and let's import account from Appwrite config. Later, let me just split the terminal over here and let me just install React Toastify and UUID. We'll be using React Toastify to alert the user on login. So let's just delete this terminal and let's import Toast container from React Toastify and also Toast. Let us also import the styles of React Toastify /dist and /react toastify.css, and you could find all these things in the documentation that I have linked below. Let's also import v4 from UUID and let's import it as UUID v4. Later let's scroll down and let's try to just give a pop-up to the user on form submission. So for that, let's just make this an async task, and over here let's just await and toast.promise. This function is going to take two parameters. The first is a callback function. Let's say register user, and this callback function I'll just create it down below, and this is also going to be an async function, and I'll just create it. And over here the second parameter is an object, and this object should contain three keys over there. The first one is the pending key. In that case, let's just display registering user, please wait. And for the success state or key, we could just display registered user successfully and have an emoji over there. Later let us go for the error key also, and for that we could say operation failed and an emoji over there. And let's scroll down, and over here we could just wrap this thing into a try this or catch error, and for now we could just console log that error, or we could even toast that also. We can just toast dot error, and we could just pass the error over here, and we could just stringify it to be safe. Now let's test it. Let's reload. Yeah, let me enter my name, email and password, and let's click on sign up. Okay, we forgot an important task. Over here we should firstly add the toast container, and this toast container will be taking a few parameters. Firstly is the position. So let's add a position parameter and let's say bottom center. Later, let's add an auto close of 5 seconds. After 5 seconds, it will automatically close. Later, let's add a progress bar, or let's just put newest on top is equal to false. And let's also put a close button. Now, let's go and reload this. Add my name, a Gmail, a password, and let's click on sign up. Yeah, we got an alert, but it would be great if it is in a dark theme. So let's go again and let's put a theme parameter and let's put dark. Now let's try again. And yeah, I like it. Also, let's go up and now let's work on the authentication part. Let's go to the register user, and over here we could just say account dot create, and let's press Ctrl and click on this create, and we could see that Appwrite is demanding for an user ID, an email, password, and a name. For the user ID, let's just pass the UUID function, and later for the email, let me just pass the email, password, and finally name. And we could wrap this into a variable, let's say response, and let's await this task. Later, we could just console log the response, and after this we could just redirect the user to the login page. For that, let me just import the use router hook and initialize it over here. Const router is equal to use router, and I'll just copy this router, scroll down, and over here I could just say router dot push, and I'll just redirect him to the login page or the index page. After that, let's check for error. Response dot error, and in case of error we could just throw an new error, and we could just pass what the error is. Now we could just copy the whole thing and wrap it into a try catch block, and in case of error we could just console log the error over there. Let's just try this. Let me reload the page. So let me enter my name, Gmail, let's say abc@gmail.com, and let's say 123 for the password, and let's click on sign up. Yeah, got the waiting message and the user is registered successfully. Let's go to the dashboard, reload the page. Let's reload again. Guess there is some error. Let's just inspect, go to console, and yeah, we got an error. So Appwrite is complaining about how short the password is, but let's open VS Code, and yeah, our mistake is this. So we have to throw an error instead of just console logging the error. So let me just throw new error, and I'll just pass the error over here. And let's try again. Let me enter my name, my Gmail, and let's enter a very short password, and let's click on sign up. Yeah, we are getting an alert over here. Now let's close this alerts, and now I'll add a fully fledged 8-digit password. Let's write the password and let's click on sign up, and yeah, it has registered me successfully and redirected me to the login page. If I go to the dashboard, reload it, I'll get a user over here who has registered with this Gmail and this name and the date he joined. So now let's implement the login functionality. For that, let's go to index.js and we'll just copy all the imports that we need. For example, we need this use router hook, and also this use state hook. So let me just copy it till here and paste it in the index.js file or the login file. Again, we would require use effect hook as well for remembering the user. And after that, let's scroll down. Yeah, we need to add or link the use state hook to the input tags. Let me scroll down and I'll just copy this email and password input tags and I'll paste it over here. And I'll format the document again. Later, I'll just copy this toast container, paste it, format the document, and let's check what we have missed. Yeah, we have missed the handle on change function and the handle submission function. So let's just copy it, and also I'll copy this, go to the top and paste it over here. And we won't be needing set name and name, so let me delete that. And I'll format the document again. And I guess we could give it a try. We'll see if any errors are coming. Yeah, no error is coming. Let me delete this console log. And instead of handle, okay, I haven't linked the handle submission. Or let's go to the form over here. Let's add an on submit. And let me link this over here. Later, let me just rename this function to login user. I'll just copy this and paste it over here. I'll just change the content to logging in user, logged in user, and operation failed. Yeah, and over here, let me change this because we will not be creating or registering the account, but we'll just be logging in. So we'll just say create email session. And yeah, this is the name that Appwrite team gives the function. Instead of login, they have given create email session. And if I press control and click on this, and we could see Appwrite is requiring for an email and an password. So let me pass the email and password, and I'll just copy this function over there. Okay, no need to copy. I'll just console log and everything is fine. So just I'll try it. I'll reload the page and I'll just say qa.6sigma@gmail.com and the password 1234567 and I'll log in. And yeah, the user is successfully logged in. And we have implemented the login. So it is not redirecting me to the dashboard. So we have forgotten to redirect the user to the dashboard after the login. So I'll just go over here and redirect the user to dashboard. And let's try it again. Let me reload the page. Let me enter my Gmail, the password, and let's click on login. Okay, I forgot. I have written the wrong password. Let me type it again. Let's click on login. And yeah, we have been redirected to the dashboard. And we'll implement the logout functionality. But before that, if we directly go to the login page, it should automatically recognize me as the user and automatically redirect me to the dashboard. It is not doing that task. So for that, let's implement that feature right now. So let's go to the top and let's write a use effect hook, a callback function, and over here let's pass the router itself. because every time the page is navigated, it should run the use effect hook again. Over here, let's just say account.get. This will get the session that Appwrite holds. Now we can say we can hold it into a variable called user. And for now, let's just console log the user and see how it looks. So let me go over here, reload the page, and let me inspect it. Let me go to console, and I have got a promise. Okay, I forgot that it is a async task, so I'll just add async over here, or in other case we could just go as a promise. Let's say user dot then, and in case of a response, we could just console log that response, and in case of an error, I can just console log the error. I'll just go over here, go to the console, and getting an error. Okay, let me check it out. Okay, it just needs a reload. Yeah, so I'm getting the console logs over here. As you can see, it is giving me the total details like email, name, password update, and things like that. So for now, let's just say if I get any response, I'll just navigate the user dot push, and I'll navigate him to the dashboard. Okay, so it is redirecting me directly to the dashboard. For example, if I go to the login page again, it is directly redirecting me to the dashboard. But in that particular few seconds, I would like it to show some preloader. So in that case, I'll just create a new state over here. Const is loaded and set is loaded is equal to use state, and by default it will be saying false. And over here, when the response has come, I'll just say set is loaded to true. And over here in the HTML, let me just copy everything over here, and I'll put curly braces, and over here I'll check is loaded, and in case it is loaded, I'll just paste everything. Or okay, let me put parenthesis and paste everything, and in case it is not loaded, I'll just say loading in a h1 tag. For now, I'll just put in a h1 tag. You could always create a new component called preloader and just display that preloader with some fancy GIF animation, etc. So let's go to the login page. So it has shown me the loading screen for a few milliseconds. Later, it is navigating me to the dashboard. Now, let's implement the logout functionality. Before implementing the logout functionality, I would like to show you an exceptional case. Say that a user is registered and he's logged in over here, and he's doing his things, and by mistakenly you delete that account. Let's say I have deleted this account, and if I try to go to the login page, I'll just be shown this loading page, and if I inspect and go to the console, I'll be getting this error. Appwrite exception, user role guest missing scope. So to avoid these kinds of errors, I would tell you to just add this set is loaded true in the case of error also. This way, though that error comes that the particular user you are requesting is not found, it will show the user a login page so he could just log in or register. So now let's move forward on developing the logout functionality. And another thing I would like to share is that currently I'm logged out, and if I go to the dashboard also, you cannot see in any accounts registered. But if I say slash dashboard, I am able to access the dashboard. So also we need to protect this dashboard route. so that if the user is only logged in, he could access it. So let's go forward and first do that. For that, let us go to index.js and we can just copy this use effect thing. Before that, yeah, okay, I'll just copy this use effect thing and I'll paste it over here. Later, I can just import use effect and use state hooks. Also, I can import import use router, and I can initialize that use router over here. Const router is equal to use router, and now I need to import that account also from Appwrite config that we have created. And yeah, I think everything is done. So yeah, I have to create a new state called set is loading. Const is loaded, set is loaded is equal to use state, and by default it's false. And I'll just copy this, and over here I'll just cut everything and put some React fragments over here. Later I'll just put some curly braces and I'll put an if condition, and if not, it will just give an h1 tag of loading. Let me format the document and I'll just reload this page. Now, yeah, okay, everything is loaded. And in case error comes, which means that the user is not logged in, I should just say a router dot push, and I'll push him to the login page, and I can delete this line over here. Now, if I reload it, I'm getting redirected back. See, if I go to the dashboard and currently I'm not logged in, so I'll get back. So I have we have successfully created a protected route for the dashboard. And in case the user is authenticated, say I'll just sign up quickly. And now I have logged in. So firstly, let's create another state over here. Let's say user profile, and I'll just set user profile is equal to use state, and by default it will be null. And I'll just, or else instead of null, I can just have loading over here, and I can just copy this set user profile, and over here I'll just delete this thing as already we are in dashboard. If we don't want it to reload twice or be redirected twice to dashboard, over here we could just say set user profile, and here we can pass the response, and we could also console log the response. And after the user profile is set, over here I can just say, instead of Mr. User, I can delete this user, and over here we can say if user profile is there, I want user profile dot name, and if user profile dot name is not present, I'll just want a loading to come over there. Now let's try this. Yeah, I got Mr. Akash. If I reload it again, yeah, everything is working. Now let's implement the logout functionality. For that, let's add an on-click listener for this logout button, and let's name it logout. And I'll just copy this and create a function over here, which is surely async, and async function logout. And over here, I'll just await account dot delete session. And if I again press Control and click on this, Appwrite wants a string which is a session ID. So if you read the documentation, there are various things that we could pass as a parameter over here. But to delete the current user session, we just need to pass current. And if I save this thing and we reload this page, is now when I click on logout, and I am successfully logged out, but the problem is that I'm not being redirected back to the login page. For that, let me just say router dot push, and I'll push the user to the login page. I'll save this thing, and the user is pushed to the login page.